Hey, AfterBuzzers! Very happy Mother's Day. Join us for the SNL After Show right now with our host Brie Larson and musical guest Alicia Keys.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
You're a mother lover. We should fuck each other's mothers. Fuck each other's moms.
Yes. Hey guys, how you doing? I thought you were gonna hug. Welcome to the SNL After Show. Embrace each other.
I did a half embrace. I didn't like fully
I'm too far away to get involved, so it's just weird. But I love it. Anyways, welcome. Happy Mother's Day.
I don't know
That was
what
our Mother's Day intro. We don't know what happened, but that's all part
Mother
of it.
Lovers came on, and I was like,
Do this?
And I was just awkwardly like, I don't have anybody to touch. Welcome, guys. Happy Mother's Day. I'm your host, Kim Crossman. You can find me on all things social media at Kim Crossman. And joining me, I've got
Katie Wilbert. You can find me on all the things, just at Katie Wilbert.
And Amy Maestri. You can find me at all of the things as well, at Amy Maestri.
So we're very excited to be here. Obviously, Sunday night, ripping. We're missing Kelly, but she's here in spirit with us.
Here she is.
We
brought her apparition.
Hey. Yes.
Kelly, you look lovely.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Nope, that didn't work at all.
Well done.
Thank you. And we have producer Zach. How are you doing, Zach?
Oh, I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm excited to hear what you guys think of this episode.
Yeah.
Yes, so nice segue. Way to keep us on track.
Already.
Not patronizing at all.
You're already veering.
No, I legitimately, I watched it this morning, and I'm still forming my thoughts on the whole thing. So
Okay, so that comment was earnest.
It was
Okay.
earnest. It
I'm
was.
not lying to you guys. I would just tell you.
Let
You
us-
know, yeah. You should stay on
Move
track.
on.
Amy, kick us off. What did you think? Cold open.
For the cold open, I was so very, very happy in my heart to see the church lady.
Sure.
I think it was a great platform for her. I don't think Dana Carvey skipped a beat. I think he was perfect. And I think it was an interesting place for her to have an opinion on something. She's always, that's always been one of my favorite characters. So it was nice seeing her come back.
Mm-hmm. Katie.
So I had the same reaction, like, oh my God, it's Church Lady Dana Carvey. This is amazing. She's always been one of my favorite characters, Church Lady. I just felt like it was oddly low energy for Dana Carvey. Like, and Church Lady in general, I think it was a different kind of format in that it was Ted Cruz and he was the joke, which I thought was perfect. And I liked that he became Satan, like all of that kind of fit together. I just felt like it was a little slow for some reason, or like there were some lulls or something for me personally, but I was tickled that was the opening and it felt different from the cold opens we've had in the past. And I think it attempted to set the episode up on a level that would be new and fun and fresh based on what we've seen in the last couple weeks.
Sure, I agree. I feel like it was a good way to switch that platform up a little bit. I think we're all a little bit tired of political stuff like, oh, Trump's a dick and Cruz is Christian. Like,
Yeah.
Well said.
So I just felt like, yeah, there was some great gems there of like him going and turning into the devil, and that kind of fell flat too. He's like, you're a dick, Trump. I'm like, no, be really devilish or say some crazy things. Or I like the line with your happy superior face or a happy superior smile. But yeah, if he's going to be the devil, then I don't know, grow a pair or I don't know.
It also seemed weird to me that it went from Church Lady being like, oh, so you love Jesus most, and Cruz being like, yeah, I'm a really good Christian, but now I'm going to be evil, I think. Like, that transition I thought was real weird because they were hitting something else hard, and then all of a sudden he's like, but I'm just going to be Satan now. Like, that switch felt really weird to me and not, like, fully genuine. And I felt like there could have been a different way to, like, find Cruz's breaking point to get there. Like, fine, if being the best Christian isn't going to do it, like, where he's actually riled or something. But it just felt like an inorganic choice just for the sake of doing Satan with the church lady character.
Yeah, that's why I almost felt that like the Satan thing at the end, him turning into a demon, wasn't even necessary if they
Right.
were going to stick on the path that they were on. I was kind of like, oh, okay, we don't need this right now, because it was
Yeah.
kind of a weird switch.
Or if it had been full out, like you're
Yeah.
saying, like a full-on Satan.
Yeah.
That
Or
was
he
like,
had been Satan all along, perhaps. Like,
Right.
perhaps he morphed himself. Like, finally, I'm...
oh, that would have been great. Like
Yeah.
wolf in sheep's
Wouldn't... Yeah,
clothing.
yes.
Yeah.
Great idea, Kim. No, yeah, but that you're right. Like that, I feel like for me that would have been funny. Like it didn't work, or was I never planning on being president all along? It's me, the devil, and then you've got church lady and the devil.
I think I like that
Yeah.
switch way better than what actually happened because it felt a little awkward. And poor John Radinsky, like they keep trying to put him in
was
there,
literally, like,
but he
pushed
was
out
just
of
like
shot.
a red face with horns, like kind of in there. Yeah, I don't know. It felt a little flat for me. I wanted more.
I think there is some single lines in it that I think there were like all these little nuggets in there that were great. But yeah, I agree that like the actual core premise of it could have used a little bit more, just like a clearer path
Yeah,
to what
pick
they
a
were
path,
doing.
yeah.
Because like when he was saying like either way we're gonna have a godless liberal Democrat and Hillary, and then what was the tangerine tornado. So like
Yeah.
her little
Yeah.
catchphrases for like Trump and stuff.
Those were
I
great.
thought were good. But yeah, it was like little nuggets throughout it that didn't totally relate to a fully rounded sketch in the end, though.
Yes. Interesting. So then we go and we meet Brie Larson. What did you think of the opening monologue, Katie?
I thought that the mom gag of having the real moms of these people there was really sweet. I didn't find the monologue funny at all, and I had this sort of realization of that while having actual moms on stage was like so endearing and lovely that I was like, I do forget during the monologue that this is a sketch show and it's like meant to be funny and like maybe funny the whole way. So I guess I kind of posed the question to you guys, like, because I didn't find the monologue at all funny, just endearing, that, like, is that kind of the point, just to, like, tease you and it doesn't even need to be funny, it just needs to be delightful? Or do you feel like the monologue should be fun, like, should attempt to actually be funny every time?
Well, I guess, and this is something that we learned in stand-up, is like you have that first kind of 20 seconds in a stand-up set where or in an audition or anything where someone's forming their opinion of you. I think an episode of SNL is like that too. Like if your cold open isn't strong or your opening monologue isn't strong in that first beat, then we're judging and we're not like we're bad people judging, but as an audience you're watching, and if you're not going to get a laugh in that first like 20 or 30 seconds, that's setting you up to already not be necessarily on board. So I do think, so let me just fall off. We've raised the stage here today.
Kim's doing real good with
I'm
the
just
chairs
not coping with the chairs, as a side note. But yeah, I mean, I think, yes, it's nice to be endearing, but I think there should have been a couple of lines. Her boobs look great.
Agree with you. And that's kind of why I was asking,
Yeah.
because it was the first time I realized, like, you know what? They should be knocking the monologues out of the park. And for some reason, they're just like, this famous person talking really nicely to camera. And then someone comes on stage and has an awkward encounter that isn't funny. And we're going to start the show now. And I just feel like for a television show on NBC that's been running for as long as it has been, that you're right, it's the start of the show. It should start really hard and strong to where you, the audience, are ready to forgive the bad stuff. But if it starts low energy, you've got like, your expectations are kind of...
Yeah, I agree. I think I wasn't surprised by it though, because this is a typical Mother's Day monologue. You know, which is nice. You know, they always kind of tend to do this, like a nice little thing for moms. There's always something like that where, again, like, you're like, oh, you're smiling, but it's not the funniest thing. It's just kind of, like you said, endearing. I kind of liken it to almost like the Matthew McConaughey monologue from this season, where it was just like an anecdote that you would hear like in an interview, almost, where you're just like, if he was doing this on Jimmy Kimmel right now, I would be so content with it. But it's a monologue, and you need something more to punch it up a little bit. And I feel like this was kind of the same. Like, if they were doing this on an interview on Mother's Day, like, great, that's so endearing and adorable, and we love it. But you do need something more for it in a comedy show to be the monologue.
Or pick a path. I feel like she did make a joke of like front row seats at the best show. Hamilton, like I don't know. They make great. Yeah, feel like either be entirely endearing, like these are our moms, nice moment, nice moment, nice moment, or
make it
have
about
strong jokes.
everyone's mom then. Like,
Yeah.
like go overboard with the moms. Like like make sure literally every person of the show's mom is on stage or something. And then, I don't know, like, it's exactly what you're saying. Pick a path and then find, like, there's a way you could have made that funny, but I feel like it just didn't get fleshed out.
I felt like Kate McKinnon tried, being like, she wrote that. I don't know. I feel like they had at least good, non-awkward chemistry.
Yeah. It wasn't just like, oh, yeah, that's definitely a mom forced onto stage right now.
Yeah. So the first sketch, is it Mattel? How do you guys say this?
Mattel.
Mattel?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm foreign and can't do things.
Did you think it was metal?
sometimes.
Mattel. Matili?
Matili dolls.
Cool. Fail. President Bobby. Amy, thoughts?
I thought this could have gone further.
Yes.
I think what they were doing was really fun and really smart. I just think they could have taken everything a step further. I think my favorite thing, though, out of this everything, like, I loved, like, saying, like, oh, well, she's a woman, so you should like her, and things like that. They were all, like, little digs that were kind of funny. But the fact that they found a way to compare Bernie Sanders to an old broom was probably one of my favorite things ever.
Yes.
So I think that was a great little nugget in it. I just think they could have taken this a lot further than what they did, but it was a good starting point. I think it was a fun narrative.
Are there any specific ways that you would have taken it? Because I agree with you. I think that it kind of fizzled out. Like, even the ending line of the catchphrase was "no fun, but definitely a president." I was like, is that the button to the?
Was that the last
joke?
one? I
Like,
wrote, why aren't you playing with President Bobby? Because we don't have to.
But then the tag of, like, the Barbie's catchphrase was no fun, definitely a president. Like, that was the last button of the sketch, and I just kind of was like,
yeah, and I feel like those are all jokes that we've kind of heard before, of, like, Hillary really trying to make people like her and to be approachable, and, like, the little girl being like, she's too stiff, like,
she's trying too hard.
yeah. So I think just, like, some more creativity with it than just going after the same old.
What would you have done, Katie, to, like, give it some more beats, take it further?
Yeah, how can you make Hillary Clinton jokes any different from all of the other Hillary Clinton? I don't know. I guess part of me thinks, like, could there have been another sort of sketch from this? Like, Funny Girls in New Zealand, it's a New Zealand sketch show that Kimberly has worked for, and they did this really great sketch called Working Girls, right?
Career Girl. Yeah.
Career Girl. Career, I'm saying,
Career.
I'm taking your
Sorry,
accent.
my accent. It's good. Career Girl.
Career Girl.
Career Girl.
Anyways. And it's this great, like, board game where the girls can't progress, and the boys' game is that no matter what they do, they always win, and, like, girls keep having setbacks in their careers. And I was hoping and excited for something similar of that caliber, something really thoughtful and saying something very poignant and like a social satire. And I was kind of disappointed that it was about Hillary, because I feel like I can't really listen to jokes about her anymore, about, like, her pantsuits or her being boring or trying too hard or her cool sunglasses. And, like, it's all played out. So I guess I'm not sure how you could have done that any differently, unless you really genuinely had a different point of view that no one had suggested yet, or if it's, like, variations of Hillary, because that's what I would have done, because Hillary Clinton has been a different person each decade.
Yes.
I would have done, like, a collection, collect them all of Hillary Clinton, and it would have started with her in the 70s as a lawyer with her big rimmed glasses and her evolution into, like, Arkansas housewife, New York Senate. That's how I would have done that.
That would have been a great spin for it.
And then you could have had the tag being like, as president, like, make her completely different, or, like, sleeve tattoos, or what the next
what's
what
next.
that next level is.
I think that's what's so interesting about this political cycle with trying to do, like, any kind of satire about it. It's so rich because there's so much going on both sides, but it's almost to the point where it is just like, you need to find that different point of view. You need to find a different thing to do because it's getting so played out for each person, no matter it's whether it's Sanders or Cruz or Trump or Hillary, you know, like it's just getting to the point where it's played out now.
Still, yeah, completely.
AMA. The
Mrs. Rafferty, that character.
made me laugh a lot. Katie, do you want to kick us off?
I was really excited that they brought her back, and I also Mrs. Rafferty.
Was it
so
Russell Crowe was the last one that did this?
Ryan Gosling.
It was Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was so excited because I feel like the last one was so good. I don't think this one was as good necessarily, but like on par. And I love that 80 was still so completely tickled by it, and watching them kind of watch each other is part of the joy of this sketch. And I felt like they did a good job of kind of mirroring and playing that same game that she did last time of the sketch, the functionality of like listening to the other two and then being like, oh, that was not my experience at all. I feel like they played that game really
Same
well. Same
format, different execution or something like that. Yeah.
I loved it. Some of my favorite lines were her angel said, "Hey, I'm Keith, hold on," and he violently ripped my soul from my body. That they used coot again. That there was a stray. That she was like, again, I stray from the pack here because there were thousands of dogs and their cold snouts kept sniffing at me. Yeah. And it seems like Keith sent me to dog heaven. Like, I loved the escalation of it, and
I wrote cold snouts on my stainer and drainer. There was a lot of great lines here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fun bum front gun or something like that.
Fun bun and mud gun.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mud gun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree that it definitely wasn't up to the par of the first one. The first one, I was almost crying.
And we hadn't
watching
seen it
that
before,
one.
too. So you're like, what is this character?
Yeah, so I think that it does have the legs to continue to be a recurring character. My one thing that I'm worried about is that there were some similarities that are almost too close, and that's my problem with recurring characters, is when it just turns into literally the same sketch, and you're like, there's nothing new about this. They didn't do that in this one, but there are a couple similarities that were almost too close, and it wasn't as good as the first one. Because I remember one of the lines that made me laugh so much in the first one was when she was like, I got a feeling I wasn't dealing with the top brass.
Yes.
And in this one, it was almost, you could even almost see it in Kate's face as she was saying it, like, this isn't as good. But as she was saying, like, he was trying to make employee of the month. And it was like, again, like, I hope that they're able to separate well enough and like make new different topics for her, because the specificity of this character kills me, and that's where all those little lines come in, where you're just, it paints such a distinct picture as she's saying it. You're just seeing her doing all of it.
I'd love to see this character in a different sketch too, like come in, like, because now we're familiar, put it in a different.
Do you think it passes that litmus test if you can drop her and put her anywhere, or do you think that part of the problem is she only functions under questioning? Because sometimes that's the problem with recurring characters, is they only exist in one world, which maybe isn't the strongest character if you think about it, because you should be able to pull them, drop them.
I think you can, because I think what's funny is her descriptions of things and kind of being, that, like, whoa, way different from me, because what it was, and I mean, I liked her physicality. I wrote that she had, like, such an obvious camel toe, too.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
they couldn't get it high enough. And I mean, she's just my favorite, and I love her, so I really loved it. Yeah.
I would also like to see her in a different place, even like at a dinner party,
it would work.
or something. I think it would too.
I think like the character that Emma Stone did, Wallace, at the bridal shower. I feel like something like that would be a good vehicle for this character, because she's just so weird and so uncomfortable and just off color that if you put her with other people in a situation where she can just be kind of asked questions, so it's still that same format of asking the questions but make it less formal in a way, I think that could be a good,
I could see that.
Or even like a drunk history type thing. It would be great if it was like a pre-recorded thing, and you know, she's narrating it and we're seeing it. Like, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't even imagine what she would have to say in drunk history.
God, that would be so enjoyable. Let's make sure that we
knock
do that
stuff. Got the knocker
Oh
stuff.
yeah, the tit stuff was funny.
It's like my brain was catching up very slowly to what you were doing. I was like, it's like my breast is moving. And I'm not sure why.
Why is she touching?
My attention was over here, knocker stuff, and then I was like, oh right, you're just touching me.
I'm just gonna start hitting your boob periodically throughout the evening.
We could count them. We'll have a telly in the corner. So baby shower. I really enjoyed this. Once again, I think we'll definitely dissect it. I think there are ways that it could have been better, but I love the idea of the mom cut. I think that that's genius, and the soft waterfall in the front, knives at the back, which was the perfect way to describe it. Yeah, what did you think, Amy?
Yeah, I think, again, kind of the specificity, same as like in the last sketch, the little things, I think it was so relatable to everyone. I actually watched this with my mom because she's visiting. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Hi, Mama Maestri.
To all our moms,
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day.
Hi, Moms. And I think it's so, like, the little things that everyone's mom does. Like, the soap flip, like shaped like a
Yes.
flip flop.
flip-flop.
Like,
Yes.
why do we need that? We don't. We don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, my favorite
I think it was so relatable for that.
Yes,
The-
after the cut, you know that bathrooms are oceans and kitchens are
farms.
farmhouses. Yeah, I thought it was so good and wackadoo too, because you initially were like, oh, this seems like a repeat sketch because it was a baby shower, and then once they revealed all the wigs, I was like, yes,
that
because it was so weird already that I just loved that it was weird and out there, but it kept building, and I felt like it was a successful sketch.
I agree. Yeah, as soon as I went into it, it was like, oh man, because I can't remember who it was the last guest that they did that baby shower kind of thing with, and it didn't do well. It was
was
like
like a
everyone was
cell phone.
talking over each other, or it was weird, and I just remembered that specific layout. And I was like,
Right.
oh darn. But yes, as soon as they all had the wigs, which I thought 80s looked the most hilarious. I think
that was
I like the
pretty on
line of I would never get a chunky highlight because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Only because we've all had hair fails. I've done that haircut and color once. Someone called it mince and cheese. You guys have mince and cheese, guys? Because I kind of had gone brunette, but I'd gone blonde as well. So it just looked like a mess. I should find one. I don't
Can
even
you
know if I
please
can
find
a
this picture because I
Yes.
can't actually.
It's awful.
I need to see all the
It's awful.
pictures.
Nothing like a good chunky zebra highlight going on.
Do you guys cry when someone does something to your hair you dislike? Has that ever happened to you?
Just kind of like bury myself in a hole.
Isn't it like
Yeah.
you want
for
to
a long
believe that
time.
as a woman at this age too that you're like so beyond that and it's just hair, but I distinctly remember a time when I was 15 and my hairdresser cut my bangs way too short and I was supposed to like hang out with a boy for the first time, like alone,
course.
and like I was so mortified. I came home crying. And I think I like left my car door open or something extremely dramatic to the point where my dad thought that I'd like killed someone with my car because I was such a freaking wreck. And I like wouldn't let him in my room. And he was like, you need to tell me what's wrong. And I was like, isn't it obvious?
Wow.
I'm hideous. I
Amazing.
just like was in this emotional state of turmoil and I've never forgotten it. And so I don't let hairdressers cut my bangs. I only do it now.
Was it murder or bangs?
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard to know if a woman's
Yeah.
murdered someone or if someone cut their bangs too
I like
short.
how that was what your dad's first thought was. They're like, she's killed someone.
Yeah.
Like, great.
She's finally done it.
Very telling of Katie as a 15-year-old. She left her car door open.
That he
She's
actually
killed
thought.
someone.
I think he must have thought I did a hit and run or something because I was so distraught. There was no way it could have
That's
possibly
hilarious.
been that someone barely cut my bangs too short. I thought it was unfixable. Like I was no longer able to be loved.
It's fair. It's fair.
I got over it, though. I have great hair now.
You do. You
Thank
really
you.
do. Yes.
Thanks.
I think we all loved that one, so that
Yes.
was great. Alicia Keys, thoughts, notes, observations. I liked there was a rug on the stage.
Yes,
I did notice the rug.
was very nice.
Yeah.
I was like, curious.
I liked her overall swag. And I liked the lyrics. I was listening to it, and there's some really poignant lyrics in that first song. Did I write it down? Dang it.
Fail.
Okay, well, now I don't remember it, but it was something like, why would you love a mess like me, or something about their messes are so messy, each of them, that they're like,
Got it.
can we love each other's messes? And I was like, whoa, that is like, you went for some deep stuff. And she was like whispering everything she was singing, which was hard to hear the words. But I was like, okay, Alicia Keys. And also, I felt like she didn't have any makeup on, and she was just like
Yeah.
a dewy goddess.
Yeah, I thought that was great too. She reminded me when she first came on, like the banana lady. What's her
You
name?
did say that, Chiquita Banana.
Yeah, because of her cool hair and giant
kind of
earrings.
fall to the
I could
side
see that.
like a cornucopia fruit. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, no, I thought she was great. I mean, I haven't
Yeah.
heard much from her for a long time.
Yeah,
so
me either.
Yeah, I've
since
always
New
really
York,
liked her.
So
Yeah.
that's my
she was
go-to.
like balling out with Jay-Z.
What's she been doing? Oh, so yeah, I thought she was great.
Yeah.
And I liked both of her songs. Weekend update.
I think Zach stated this earlier,
Oh,
to
yes.
which I agree.
Would you like to chime in, Zach?
Well, the first half of it was a little strange and like borderline offensive at times. I'm trying to remember exactly the jokes that sort of was like, what are you guys doing? What's happening?
I feel like they were pleased with their jokes. Like I could see Colin and I was about to say and Jost and Michael J.
There's only one in Katie's eyes.
Yeah.
I could see
Colin
Colin
Jost and the other
Jost.
guy.
I could see them like enjoying their own jokes
Yes.
and like the punchiness of it, but I didn't actually receive the punchiness of it. So I agree. I feel like the top of Weekend Update felt kind of weak to me. I did like the taco bowl Mexicans in a hot tub thing, but perhaps that's something you found offensive, Zach. I'm not sure. But then I felt like after Laura Parsons, it got strong.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it again goes back to the fact that like pretty much all the political jokes in the first half were things we've heard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's again like, okay, yeah,
Are
Trump.
they even jokes? They're like, they did this.
Yeah, it's just kind of
Just
saying things over and
facts,
over again.
yeah.
And like the whole like thing going in on Trump of like, yeah, we get it. Trump is a Democrat who's just also a very hateful human. Like, and that's kind of like the jokes about like him actually being a Democrat and him hating Mexican people and him doing this and him doing that. Like, we get it. Like,
I thought the snake story was much better. They should have led with the guy who, some guy who put his snake in his pants.
I'm much more
more of
interested
that.
in weird people.
We want
Yeah.
more weird
snakes
things
in
in your
pants.
pants.
There are more other weird people in America. Let's pull focus to them for a little bit.
Oh yeah, I looked online the other day. Oh snap! I was looking something up, and it basically has. This is gonna go nowhere. The story because
Would you like us to roll over it and pretend we never?
yeah,
Okay.
because I can't
right.
provide you with the information. It basically was like a lady. No, I can't remember it.
We'll come right back after these brief messages.
If I remember it, I'll let you know.
I
It
like
was
how you owned that you're like, move on. That's really, I would go, I'm going to speak slowly while my brain's going, we can't find it. We can't find it in the files.
No, I see the picture. It was. Do you ever type something? And I'm
Nope.
not going to go on with the
Okay.
story. I'm just asking a question. Do you ever type something onto Google and what you find is so astonishing? Like you type in like, where do you buy red pants? That's not what
Where to hide the body? Is that kind of one? Yeah. those
Yeah,
ones?
like where do you
Yeah.
hide the body? And like whatever the first one is, sometimes you're like, wait, really? Like there's actually a website called How to Hide the Body? I don't know if there is. This is all
She started it
improvised.
after she did her hit and run when she was 15. Funny.
We should all be afraid.
Callback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the Laura Parsons, the STD, seriously terrible dates. I love her. I think that this is
too.
great, and yeah, I think
Yeah.
we've all been big fans of it. Yeah. What did you guys have any more notes on that?
I thought Laura Parsons was really delightful. I wrote down most of her lines, so I don't even know if it's worth repeating it because they were all so funny.
They were all great.
I was curious about your guys' opinion of Sashir's set because I guess I couldn't figure out if she was really playing herself or she was playing like a version of herself, and I kind of liked that she was having real moments with Jost, but then I kind of wasn't too because it felt like she was like nervously getting out of staying in whatever she was in, like kind of breaking out of discomfort as opposed to like being real and live.
It was nice to see her because I
Yes,
feel like so I was
very
like,
nice to
great.
see her.
I think that they've already got Pete being Pete, So, and kind of Leslie kind of being Leslie. I don't know that they needed her being her. I would have liked to have seen her do some characters.
Yeah, me too.
So if she's going to be her, then be comfortable. Like, even at the end when she, has her reveal of the word, she kind of doesn't even commit to that. Because the joke was a misdirect. She says the word, and then she's like, please don't hate me, it's my birthday. Like, say the word boldly.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then be like, ugh, rather than, ugh.
Yeah, I think, again, I was confused by it, but I think she was very enjoyable at times to me.
It was endearing to see her
that
kind
I
of
was just like... I
having chemistry.
Yeah, like, I couldn't really put my finger on what it was, but I enjoyed her. And I agree that, they have so many people doing basically stand-up sets on Update at this point that I don't know that they need another one. And especially, I feel like Sashir is very underused because she can do characters.
Yeah.
She can do impressions. In my opinion, Leslie is still very uncomfortable in sketches. The baby shower sketch, she even kind of flubbed the line.
Sashir more? It doesn't make any sense.
Like Pete can do characters too, but it's still always Pete. I love Pete to death, but it's still always very much Pete.
Shtick, I guess.
Yeah, Sashir can morph into someone different, and I feel like they should be utilizing that more. And I'm not sure if it's just that she's not pitching the best stuff, or people aren't writing for her right now, or what's going on. But I think Leslie's very funny when she's Leslie, but she's uncomfortable doing anything else. Sashir is comfortable doing other things, so I feel like she's underutilized in those areas.
Yeah. I don't know that they've ever found a place for her. I feel like they're still searching, and I would love for them to find it, because I feel like she's so talented and not being utilized properly, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
And surely they should be having those conversations if they're like, and this is something we've discussed too, not to like dampen the mood a little bit, but the last 5 episodes I wouldn't say have been great. I think
it feels like something's happened.
There's nuggets, but I think ever since Russell Crowe, it's been like, are we not going to surface? Like, and not to put that on him, just like I feel like that to me is like that was the first one that we were like, what?
That episode tanked.
It hurt
so
me.
Mix it up.
I mean, there were people saying it was the worst episode they've ever seen of it. Like, that's how bad people were responding on Twitter and stuff. So I don't think we're the only ones who felt that when we watched it. And then I just don't know that it ever elevated itself above that fall. And it does make me wonder if there's something going on with the writing staff, or I still feel like they need a stronger male cast right now. I feel like we've seen the guys do a lot of the same stuff, and it's just, I don't know. I feel like the females are so strong and so much more present, but then I don't know. There's something like off, and I'm not sure what the
also
fix
like there's so many guest casts in at the moment because of all these political satire stuff. They've actually got additional cast essentially that are in each week.
That's true. Yeah, there's been people coming in and out, and it's just, I think there's so much going on that it might be kind of like an overload almost at this point, that like they're kind of focusing too much efforts on the same kind of stale political satire in a lot of cases when they could be focusing elsewhere.
Like,
and then the
new,
first half of the
fresh
season was so much stronger. So much stronger. And I agree, since the, if you can call it an episode, Russell Crowe, it's just been, it just left you wanting more. And I mean, the Russell Crowe one was just a complete disaster, but...
Do you guys think there's something to be said that, like, politics has become almost not funny anymore because we're at a point where it's too real? Like, it seems like it seems like what's really happening is the joke.
That's fair,
the reality of it, it's hard to
is a
heighten
circus,
where you can go from there, because I feel like before it was at least serious and there were some slip-ups, but when everything is a joke, but like in reality, then where do you go from there? And then it just becomes them in Weekend Update saying truth news. And then it's like, how do you heighten the joke into your own point of view, because it's supposed to be like fact commentary.
And truth is funny if you haven't heard it before. Like, man was born with 31 fingers and toes. Funny. Haven't heard it before, but Trump's a dick. Know that.
I remember a sketch teacher that we had, he actually brought that up after a sketch that I wrote about a reality show, and he's like, the tough thing is with something like a reality show or something crazy going on, if it's already crazy, it's really hard to make it work in a sketch sometimes, because that's the whole point of a sketch, is taking something that could be normal and putting a crazy spin on it. So it's really finding a strong point of view in those cases. And I think right now, if they're not doing that, it's just too crazy. And like Zach's saying, it's too real at this point too, that they have to either step away from that right now or find a
What is
better
their
way of approaching
obligation?
it.
Like,
Yeah.
do they have to do 17 minutes? Like, it feels like they're like, it's
a lot.
I think it's been their kind of calling card for a bit, for a long time for the show. So I think that's part of it. But also, I guess the weird part is that there's a point where I think at the beginning of the season we loved Kate's Hillary, and there were so many new exciting things we were like, because the election cycle had just started.
Yes.
Now I think it's like when you're at war, a lot of people don't want to watch movies about war because it's too close to home. I feel like right now everyone is bombarded with political stuff on your computer and on the news that I don't want to watch sketches about it because I'm hearing about it so frequently that I just want to watch anything other than political satire.
what about a Game of Thrones sketch?
I would watch that though.
That's my segue, going like 10 minutes to go for sketches. I mean, I actually don't. I'm probably the only person who doesn't really watch Game of Thrones, but I did happen to watch the episode when I was about to say John Smith. That's not
Spoiler.
his name.
Oh boy.
Spoiler.
Well, of course it's going to be is that his name?
It is not.
Spoiler alert.
What's his name?
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow. I'm like, why
Smith.
Jon Smith?
You just made him so generic.
I'm so generic. Most generic name ever. Jon Snow comes back to life. I mean, even as not a huge Game of Thrones fan, thoroughly enjoyed this and the idea of it moving so slowly. Surely they're going to cut away to do other things. No. Move it along. I thought it was great. And you guys are Game of Thrones fans, and so
I
is Zach.
loved
So.
this, and I thought the same exact thing when I was watching this scene, that it took so effing long, and they kept teasing at him being dead, and it was weird that he was just lying on this table slab for like so many days, and I'm so glad that they poked fun at all of that.
Yeah.
And I loved Kate's Melisandre, and like, let me think about it for a full 10 minutes.
Did you see her hand movement that
Yeah,
she did this
she-
and then let her nose come through the center of her hand?
Yeah.
It was,
Gosh,
she's so good.
The little
it was
things
so
that she
delightful.
does are just they just add so much
Yeah.
to anything that she's doing.
So
Yeah.
good. Oh, I mean, I love this.
I think my favorite might have been at the end when like everyone's already done like and so angry about how slow it's going. He's just like, let me see what Bran is up to. 'Cause
Yeah,
no one
really.
cares about Bran.
Yeah, that was a great button. That was a strong button.
Yeah.
'Cause it led-
Round of applause. You guys finished the sketch.
we get really excited when SNL does sketches.
Finishes the sketch rather than the fade out. It's like end.
Yeah.
Yes, so of course, so we thought that was amazing. Quiz Whiz, thoughts, notes, observations?
I actually really enjoyed this one too. I feel like there was some level of it not quite like, but I mean, I thought it was great. I liked the idea that it was 2018. They kept being like, because it's 2018 and there's flying cars. I like the ridiculousness of looking at the future and how we observe the future. Like,
Yes.
it's so far forward. And I liked the game of no one being able to remember Ted Cruz. I wasn't sure that her being his wife was the strongest out. It felt kind of like a cop-out.
I think it didn't need that. I liked the way that they were like, now we'll do our Trump is president speech.
That
Like,
was great.
That's stronger to me. Yeah.
That was a great
stronger.
ending. I think the only reason that I liked that it was actually his wife is because they did get to point out like the elbow to the face
Yes.
moment that he had with her. Because also like it was just a week of like really awkward moments too. Because I know also Cruz when him and Carly Fiorina when they announced the VP
That
and
hand
the
thing.
hand thing where they kept
Yeah.
trying to like get their hands on top of each other. So I think that was just a good part of that. But I do like the little things of like I can't think of it. It's like I'm seeing nothing right now.
that's him.
Yeah,
That's
that's
him.
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
him. Like
I like
I
that.
thought it was fun. But yeah, I think it could have been a little bit shorter. I think we got it pretty quickly, and it could have been shorter. But I think it was a lot of fun, and the Trump ending killed me.
The Trump ending was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this was the movement or something? It was weird. Okay. Discreet Annihilation. This was my
Yes.
favorite thing of the whole evening. It tickled me. It changed up the pace a little bit. I thought Brie was great in this, and this was like seeing her do something different. Like we'd already seen her play a lot of those characters, and we haven't spoken about her huge amounts tonight. But I loved this. I love that they were doing a Kickstarter. The Fooblers drawing.
The Fooblers drawing made me snort.
Yeah, this was my most laughs per minute for sure. What did you think, Amy?
Yeah, I loved it. I wrote the first thing I wrote down was Scott's dad used to be a train conductor.
Just the visuals, it's so good.
I think they're at their best
Kyle
when they're doing
Mooney.
that. Yeah, just like the randomness of it and like.
I really like them. I know not everyone likes their tone, but it's always so refreshing because they don't write like other people write on the show. It's
always like aesthetically going to be different. Like it's going to sound different.
Yeah.
I loved. We're all white, but we do black style raps. Little things like that. But I think.
And a blue motorbike or something.
Those random small things that you're just like, why?
Yeah, you go why a lot, but you don't even need to know the answer. Beck
Yeah.
Bennett's voice was ridiculous.
What was that?
I don't know, but so nice because how often do you get to see them really be another character that you haven't seen at all?
Yeah.
And I thought that was really nice. I just thought it was so delightful and refreshing.
So wrapping it up with holograms. I thought the idea of this was good. I feel like they either could have picked stronger celebrities or I don't know. I felt like there was a slight disconnect for me there. I liked the Selena one because I felt like it was the most. What do you say? You know this because you're a singer. Like when someone does not a cover, but it is a cover of a song, but it sounds very different.
Oh yeah, when you
remaster.
You rearrange it. It's a new arrangement.
Yes, and I felt like the Selena song was the only one that was like a voice and a new arrangement with the lyrics, where the other one was just people singing the song and the voice.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Agreed.
Oh yeah, and I love the idea of Ethel Merman being the Selena Gomez of her time period.
Hilarious. Yeah, there were some moments that were really funny. I laughed initially because he said something about how great it is to be able to bring singers from the dead into a hologram. And I just know so many people who have seen like Tupac's hologram at Coachella who were like, I couldn't even see it. Like, what's the point of it? And I laughed because I thought it was going to be more of that joke of like, this is so not enjoyable. And so it kind of went in a different way that I didn't mind. I really liked Kate's Ginger Rogers.
Yeah.
And that he said bye at the end because that's something we all do. But yeah, I wasn't quite.
I feel like that idea could have gone in a lot of different directions, and I don't necessarily know if this was the strongest direction that it could have gone in. Either do rearrangements or put them somewhere else, like in the movie. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, and I think even like you said, even just like stronger celebrity choices too, as far as like who was doing it and who they were actually portraying. But yeah, I like that idea of taking it into a different direction of like holograms just not being worth it or putting it, because it was enjoyable.
Yeah,
I think which that's kind of what a lot of things have been lately. Just like I can deal with this.
I can stomach it.
Who would your MVP be?
Kate. Got to go with Kate.
Kate McKinnon. Kate. Dope as hell.
Yeah, I definitely would say Kate as well. And so next week we have Drake and Drake.
Drake and Drake.
Drake is doing both. So, if you guys want to follow us in the meantime or interact with us, tweet us, get in touch. We want to hear your thoughts on this episode, what your predictions are for next week as well. And you can find me on all things social media at Kim Crossman.
And you can find me on all the things at Katie Wilbert.
And you can find me at Amy Maestri.
Awesome.
On all the things.
On all the things.
All the things.
And we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye.
Bye. From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.